Overthinking is your worst enemy. As a creative, the way you think about your work can determine whether you will ever be successful or not. For a lot of producers, social media is a gift and a curse. It's never been easier to make money with music from any place in the world and connect with the people you always wanted to work with. But it's also easier than ever to get caught up in an endless loop of self-doubt, comparing yourself to other producers online, or not being able to finish an idea. When you listen to your own music, you sometimes think that it's actually not that great, or when you scroll through social media and you see a snippet of someone else's music, it sounds so much better than your own stuff. It doesn't have to be like that. If you watch the video until the end, you will know what changes are made to stop overthinking as a producer, which will not only allow you to make more music, but ultimately also enjoy the process. Let me know in the comments if this scenario sounds familiar to you. You start a new beat or a new project with an idea that you actually like. For example, you lay down a cool chord progression and you feel like you're catching the vibe. And now you want to add the additional sounds, top line melody, a counter melody, or whatever. So you click through every possible preset that comes to your mind, but somehow you can't find the right sound. And after some time has passed, you decide to finish the idea someday later. When you save the project, this pops up on your screen. And you already know you're never gonna open up that project ever again. If that sounds familiar to you, hopefully not the part where you want to save that and this pops up on the screen, but that whole process, it's because of two fundamental problems. I do not only want to explain them to you, but also how to create the habits to fix that. But before we get into that, I want you to understand that the quality of the questions you ask yourself decides over the quality of your life. That's one of the fundamental problems of overthinking, especially as a creative. A good question, for example, is, did you subscribe to the channel yet? If you haven't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you constantly ask yourself questions that will never get you towards your goal, you will probably never get there. In my opinion, a good question is always asked in a way that you can take immediate action. Why does artist XYZ don't respond to my message? Is not a good question because you will probably never know. But how can I provide more value to artists that they want to work with me? That's a good question, because that automatically leads into an action step. In order to take control of your thoughts like that, you need a certain level of awareness, and you also need to be very present. And I know that's a difficult task in a world where everything is designed for you to be distracted and everywhere around you is cheap dopamine. That's why finishing an idea can become really tough sometimes too. And scrolling through social media all day and consuming content which is designed in a way that you engage with it, if you are missing the right intention while you consume it and why you are doing it, that automatically leads to overthinking. And that causes that you care too much about things you shouldn't care about. You've probably seen people tell you shouldn't care about anything. Let's be honest, that's BS. It's important to care about things, but just about the right things. If you want to achieve something, especially in music, you need to care about what you're doing, because otherwise, if you can't convince yourself to get up in the morning and work on the stuff you want to work on, it's almost impossible to get somewhere. Keep in mind what I said about the quality of the questions. It's a good idea to only care about the things that are under your control and which you can take responsibility for, and not too much about other people's opinions, reasons why they do something, why they act in a certain way, or whatever. But of course, it's easier said than done. And that's why I will give you now real advice, practical action steps on how to fix that. But first of all, let me take the illusion from you that I know exactly what is going on in your life and that everything that I will tell you now will 100% work for you, because that's not the case. I will share with you what works for me, but you need to try it out on your own and see if it fits in your current life situation and if you can adapt those habits. Overthinking as a creative leads to something that slows down your momentum in a non-productive way, because overthinking will make you chase the idea of creating something 100% perfect. And if you chase perfection, you will never get things done. One mantra that I want you to stick with from now on is done is better than perfect. If you need to, write it down on a post-it or on a piece of paper and put it somewhere on your desk where you can see it. I've seen so many producers and artists, when asked about their biggest records, say something like, yeah, I didn't like the beat, or I didn't expect that to be the hit of the album.
Did you know that was going to be one of the ones when you made it? Or?
No.
that beat is not a typical hit.
And the difference between those artists and producers that overthink is that they still put out their stuff even though it's not perfect, but they still put it out and let the people decide. For example, my most clicked beat on YouTube, which has over 40,000 views now. When I made it, of course I thought it is cool and that's why I uploaded it, but out of those 300 beats that I've posted this year, if you ask me which one is the one that blows up, I wouldn't have pointed on that beat. But it's the one. And it doesn't matter what I think about it. Because at the end of the day, I do not only make the art for myself, but also for people to enjoy it. And it's super important that you focus on the people who want to enjoy the music. Since I'm mainly posting these type of videos where I just talk and don't make music in the video, I get way more negative feedback. You can't imagine how much more negative comments and DMs I get compared to when I was posting tutorials. But I've never been happier with this type of content because I truly believe it's good content. I also had people commenting under my loop kit when I posted it that all those loops sound the same, but I would never stop posting loop kits or switch up my sound because of that. And also you need to accept that not everything will work out the way that you want it to work out. Maybe you think you made a special beat, but once you post it and it gets no views, or you send it out and nobody uses it, you don't want to get demotivated by that. Just keep sending and just keep posting. That's the most important part about it. Because as I said, you want to focus on the things that are under your control. Now let me tell you the key to master all of these things, and it is confidence. Confidence is the key to stop overthinking, and I will explain to you why. You need to build habits around music that allow you to build confidence, and also do things that create results to build confidence in your music, and don't mix that with being detached from the result. What I mean when I say you need some results is you should always keep working relentlessly no matter if you get results, but you want to get some good results in order to build that confidence that you know that you are on the right path, or if you need to switch things up and get better. So here's what I do. First of all, I got all notifications turned off on my phone. I don't see any comments, I don't get any messages, no WhatsApp, no iMessage, no Instagram, no emails, nothing. That makes something with your brain and you are able to focus way better when you make music. Unless someone calls me, I don't need to put on the flight mode or something else. I'm so zoned in when I'm working on my music, it's crazy. So turn off all your notifications on your phone. You will get way better focus, and focus is so important. And the upside is also that you won't check your phone unless you got the intention to do so. So if you get a message on Instagram, you only see it when you go intentionally on Instagram to check if you have messages. You automatically avoid the danger to get a message, go on Instagram, and then you start scrolling or getting caught in something, or your attention drifts to something that doesn't deserve your attention at that moment. Another big part of my life is sports and working out. I'm super in shape. I know you can't tell when I'm sitting here because I look like a skinny guy, and I do not post about it that much. I mean, I post when I'm working out sometimes, but I mainly do it for myself. But in my opinion, your body has to be in shape or your mind to be in shape. It's yin and yang, simple as that. And I'm not a fan of the whole idea of producers sitting at their desk 12 hours a day, like having a nerd neck and just producing the whole day. I'm really not a fan of that. I think you need to get some sort of physical exercise to be creative. And of course, it also gives you confidence if you are in shape. Having a good body gives you confidence. Another big part for me is my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel that you are watching at the moment. If you have a YouTube channel with a couple thousand subscribers and you have a beat channel with 100,000 of views, I don't want to lie to you. It automatically builds confidence in your music if you start making money and all that. And if you now tell me, yeah, I don't have that. At some point, I didn't have that too. I started from scratch too. Like, that's what I want to tell you. You have to take some action in order to do that. It's not like you can do that and you automatically have the confidence and you automatically can stop overthinking. It's a process. You have to grow into it, and you have to realize that it's one step after another. Sometimes I don't get why people want to go to the gym on Friday and have a six-pack on Monday. Things that have value take some time. And I also want to talk about the example from the beginning. I told you that story because I sometimes experience that myself. What I do usually, if I can't finish the idea myself, is I save the project as a starter. I bounce everything everything out, and then I send it to other producers so that they can finish up the idea. Because music is a collaborative process, and you have to realize that you don't need to make everything on your own. It's way cooler if you work in a team, if you create something together, and also if you can't come up with ideas and start to overthink everything, you can use starters from someone else. And the last thing that I want to talk about is I do meditate every single day for 10 minutes for the past 4 or 5 years, and I also read. I read a couple of books every year. One of my favorite ones are Atomic Habits. I also like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I've read some Alan Watts books, and it also helps a lot with your focus and your overall presence, which ultimately is good for music, especially if you want to make music every single day. And if you struggle with that and you want to know how to make beats every single day, this is the perfect video for you.